Hello, friends. Welcome to ProConnect panel discussion FEB issue. Nowadays, smart technologies extend beyond individual buildings to shape urban planning and development. Data driven insights from smart sensors and analytics inform decisions related to transportation, infrastructure, and zoning for creating more sustainable and resilient cities. How does smart technology aid sustainable built environment? Let us know it from our resilient and expert panelists present here today. I am Adrija Roy Chaudhary, your host for this amazing session. I would now introduce our panelists to our audience. I welcome Mr. Nitin Jagdale, Business Head HVAC at Shriram Automation. He is an experienced sales professional with a demonstrated history of working in the electrical and electronic manufacturing industry. Welcome, Nitin.
Thank you, Adrija.
I now welcome Ms. Sandhya Patil, Associate Director, Environmental Design Solutions, a sustainability specialist who brings over 24 years of experience in design build architecture with specialization in green buildings certification and green building codes and standards, performance evaluation and benchmarking, sustainable design assistance for thermal comfort, design, energy optimization, and grid interactive net zero project. Welcome, Sandhya.
Thank you so much.
So now I would request Nitin to share his perspective about the topic in discussion today. Smart technology is the backbone of sustainable built environment.
Yes, indeed, smart technology plays a crucial role in serving as a backbone of a sustainable built environment. The integration of intelligent and connected systems enhances efficiency, reduces resource consumption, and promotes environmentally responsible practices. Basically, smart technology typically involves low energy devices. And with low energy usage, users of smart technology can actually reduce on their carbon footprint, making these devices a good choice of an environmentally conscious consumer. The global smart building market size is expected to reach $140 billion by 2026, and it is according to a report by Markets and Markets. And as technology continues to advance, its role in building sustainability is likely to become even more and more prominent.
Absolutely. Like you said, and it's true that we have environmentally knowledgeable customers. Now we are more aware of our what
Yeah.
we want in our buildings, right?
Yes.
So that's a great insight coming from Nitin. And now, Sandhya, I would like to know your thoughts about the topic in discussion today.
This smart technology, I remember when I was studying architecture at that time, we had a building in BKC in Mumbai, and which was called the first smart building. And when we actually studied the case study as students, and we were so impressed by it that they had a building management system, BMS, and that word itself excited us to so understand a building can have and can be automated, and technology can be adapted in, because we that's how. So building industry has really come a long way, using different passive measures to design buildings, to operate buildings, to moving to now active systems. So you have smart HVAC systems and managing systems. So it is a part of our lifestyle, as is the way smartphones have become a part of our life, and smart technology is a part of a building system, system design. So at a very beginning, principally by design, we include smart technology, which is no longer any kind of an added aspect in a building design. So this is an integral part of it, and it will go furthermore with AI coming into picture, and internet integration, all of these aspects happening. So this is a need for our, and I think it will take us really furthermore. that also adds up to making our environment sustainable. So using it wisely is a most key factor in the entire aspect. So it has been helping us. So I don't see it's a very, very crucial thing which everybody needs to understand and use it.
Sure that. And on that note, I am going to ask you our first question. So moving on to our question and answer round. And Sandhya, in what specific ways can smart technology contribute to creating a more sustainable built environment?
So when we talk about sustainable built environment, what do you mean by a sustainable built environment is and something which we are trying to optimize or reduce a demand or optimize energy efficiency, water, or any kind of the building which is going to be in an operating stage. So when we are talking about optimizing or and then further going on to monitoring, now these two aspects need some kind of process orientation, and that's where smart technology jumps in. So it gives us value additions, it gives us systems, it gives us methodologies and processes how we can integrate this data, because running a building is a very important task and there's a huge database which we need. Even designing a building with the smart technology integration also is a very important aspect. So this all these aspects need to be coordinated very well. And I think designing a sustainable environment with smart technology is the perfect solution to really move ahead in sustainable building there, because they help us in providing optimization solutions, and then further in monitoring, and then you get some kind of leads from our these monitoring which can be incorporated and further rectified. So you have audits happening, all of these aspects which really help you to take the building to a next level of design. And there is a huge connection with the users. There used to be a very, very good you can say a gap between the users who would use a building and the people who would design the building. Now these smart technologies tells the users how, what the building is about, what isn't. There's an interaction happening. So I feel that this is a very important aspect and it contributes to sustainable design, because it makes a lot of hard work which would have been actually done in a, integrated in a process manner, and that helps you to take it further.
Absolutely. And as we were talking about, reducing the gap between users and the architects, so I think evaluation of those processes also happens through data collection and data
True.
trends. So smart technology also aids those processes, right? So moving on to our next question, um, I would ask Nitin, how do you see the integration of IoT shaping the future of sustainable architecture and construction?
Uh, IoT is a top of the season. Like IoT is coming up in a big way. So with its ability to connect devices and collect vast amounts of data, IoT can actually revolutionize the way construction projects are executed. So with increasing environmental concerns, the construction industry is under immense pressure to adopt sustainable practices. And this is where IoT can help in shaping the future of sustainable architecture and construction. Like IoT sensors and devices can be embedded into various building components, such as lighting, HVAC systems, occupancy sensors, and all different kinds of sensors and monitoring systems. And this can lead into more energy efficient consumption, so better indoor air quality and optimized building operations. So this data which is collected can be used to optimize energy consumptions, reduce waste, and also increase overall energy efficiency. It can also be used to track and trace of construction materials. So they can ensure with the compliances with sustainability sourcing practices they can do, and then reduce the wastage which is generated. Okay, it can also be used for monitoring energy usage or water consumption. which can help in conserving water resources or promoting sustainable water management practices. uh, I think it has more to do. Like it can also do life cycle assessments of the building. So it can let the uh, architects and builders make informed decisions about the environmental impact of the materials over their entire life cycle. So there was a expo in Delhi last month on IoT and smart cities, which I visited, and there were many working models of upcoming smart cities like PCMC, Ranchi Smart City, and Satna Smart City were on displays. So as IoT technology continues to advance, so the integration into sustainable architecture and construction practices is likely to be more and more sophisticated and widespread. This would actually drive further innovations in the pursuit of environmentally conscious and resource efficient built environment. So that according to the reports, incorporating IoT into construction projects would actually lead to reduction in waste generation by 25% and energy improvement in energy efficiency by 35%.
Wonderful. So that was quite an insight coming from you, Nathan. And of course, this is quite a huge and positive prospect which IoT
Yeah.
shows us, and this is great. Can you share a few examples of successful projects where smart technologies have significantly reduced the environmental impact of a built environment, as Nathan was talking about?
Yeah, actually, there are so many technologies which are being used in different projects. To start off, fundamentally, we talk about sensors. That's also a smart technology. That technology, like you have daylight sensors, which help you to optimize the electricity, the artificial lighting. Occupancy sensor again has the same motto in there. But from these was a basic thing, a building management system, which was managing the entire systems of that building and would give you a real-time data of how your systems are working. The building industry has now moved to another type of smart technologies, like you have energy management systems, you have building automation systems, you have waste management system, water irrigation smart technologies. And then you have the digital twinning system, which talks about making a virtual model and representation of the physical model, and then actually working on it in terms of parameters, and understanding how the operating would be there, and taking informed decision, as what Nitin said, would be put into an actual physical thing. So you actually work, may build a virtual building, make it run completely, see what is happening, what are the do's and don'ts of that, and actually do. So some of these important projects which we have worked is and the pioneers of the been very different good companies like Wipro, Microsoft. There's a project Bridge Museum, which is in coming up in New Delhi. Infosys. All of these have used a lot of mass smart systems, which we're doing. And a very interesting project which we are working on is going to be the India's first, hopefully, grid interactive net zero project. So where this is also talks about building automation, where the building interacts with the grid through an building automation system. So the building is able to take the load and stand on its own, be off grid, and support the grid when the demand is high, or contribute back to the grid when is an excess of energy. So it's a dialogue between a building and a grid, and that happens through automation. You have the automation in terms of real-time data showing whether the total energy consumption of the building is zero, and that is projected onto the users who are using it. So people who have been not using that entire dashboard is available to it. So that is a very interesting thing. In one of our IT projects in Bangalore, which we did, the entire campus has been using smart technologies, like they have these cleaning equipments because you have IT people who have a very good open office systems with which are carpeted. Cleaning up the carpets is a important aspect. So they had entire floors which had an underfloor, which would clean up the entire thing within no hours, and they had a detecting systems where there would be occupancy to schedule these cleanings. So that would happen immediately because the IT industry works for 24 hours depending on their clients, which may be overseas. So the people come on that. So that's a very interesting thing which we did. Smart HVAC system is one of the things which we have done is underfloor air conditioning. So we usually had an air conditioning which would be utilized, would be used, which would had a downdraft coming from that. But an underfloor air conditioning looks at the thermal comfort where a human being stands up to that. And then you don't need that much of energy to really cool the rest of the space above. And the user has the control for it. So that is the way he can control the temperatures and see what it is. They also have an real-time monitoring system which would tell them the IAQ, that is indoor air quality, which would talk about what is the humidity, what would be the temperature difference happening, and that would detect things. And at a very minute level, they looked at PM 2.5 or the CO2 levels in the entire spaces. And if that was there, then that was integrated with the HVAC system and the fresh air system. So if there was a CO2 levels which was not as per the standards, then that would immediately send a signal to the fresh air system, and an additional fresh air was pumped into that space. So this was a very interesting thing. So all these decisions were taking at the design, and the client has been very open to adapt these smart technologies and use it. And it is a very well running campus, which is we very proud being part of that. I mentioned about this bridge museum which is coming up. That's also a completely smart technology project where we are looking at climate control lighting. So you have water irrigation systems which will coordinate the water usage, water patterns, leakages. All those aspects are monitored and seen real time. We have always looked at energy part of it, but even water systems have moved to a next level, and that's how they have managed to. So these are some of them. Infosys projects really looks at daylighting factors, and they calculate the entire daylighting and connect their HVAC system on the heat load which is connected, and the daylighting which is supposed to be there. So the lighting is completely designed as per the entire this. You have for automated facade designs. Unfortunately, we've not worked on it, but I have done a lot of studies on automated envelope designs, where the window shades or the window pails actually, or the envelope of the building actually talks with the pattern of the sun. So if you have, and if the east side facing and you have a morning sun, then the blinds move so that you do not get so much of sun coming in, and but you have adequate sun. By the time the sun moves overhead, they know that they need light, so the blinds move automatically across, getting the light to into it. So these systems have been there in terms execution of many projects across the globe. But yes, India is completely geared up, and buildings are moving towards that kind, because we ourselves are doing so much of building designs in terms of envelope design, and architects are really pepping up to the requirements of these small integration of smart technologies to that. So there's been a real eye openers, and you can say a knowledge based projects where we worked on these clients who have been very open to adapting these experimental smart technologies, and at the end of it, the projects have been really enriching. So that's yeah.
I can totally understand, because we were having that glare in your eyes while speaking about those projects, and that's what we want, right? Like if we can convey what technology can bring to your plate, so and the customers are understanding it, so that's the bridging in the gap. Yeah. Wonderful. So I think retrofitting is also doing wonderfully well because of smart technology, like in
Yeah,
government
we
buildings.
yes, we did a project for Bureau of Energy Efficiency
Mm-hmm.
about greening 100 buildings across different typologies in India across different climatic zones. So India itself has 5 climatic zones.
Oh,
So existing buildings who are operating of different, it could be hospitals, schools, non-residential buildings. So that project has this entire thing. My colleagues and all of them who have been part of this thing had been very enriching because we talk about designing buildings, but a building which is already designed, how do you make it smart? Right. So
exactly.
that was a very important thing, especially a goal of net zero. Then we look at the renewable energy integration, and we have no other choice but to look at smart technologies, how we can do optimize the existing buildings. So that had been a very good project which went on for quite a few years. Looking at collecting the data of it, we realized that how we could tabulate that data and come up with sustainable solutions, smart technologies, which a client can adapt it and help them to move to a next level.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that brings us to our next question. And Nitin, how do you suggest that we like data analytics and AI play a role in optimizing energy usage and resource management within smart buildings and urban planning?
Okay, so this question actually can be divided into two different parts, like one for smart building and one for urban planning. Okay, so as we know, data analytics and artificial intelligence are very important, and as coming up like for optimizing energy usage and resource management within smart buildings. So there are several ways in which these technologies can contribute to the efficiency and sustainability. Okay, so there can be predictive analytics and maintenance. So data analytics can be used to predict equipment failures and maintenance needs in real time, which will help in enabling taking proactive measures for maintenance and reducing the downtime. This AI algorithms can analyze historical and real-time data to forecast future energy consumptions. So this can enable building managers maybe to optimize energy usage, plan for the peak demand, and implement energy saving strategies. Like furthermore, this IoT sensors and data analytics can monitor occupancy patterns within the buildings. This AI algorithms analyze this data. Then accordingly, they can optimize the lighting, heating, and the cooling systems based on the actual usage, and hence reducing into the energy waste in unoccupied areas. So these are the few factors which can be implemented in the smart buildings. And when we talk about the urban planning, so it would be on a much bigger scale. So in that we can have ambient air quality monitoring and management. So basically the IoT sensors can collect real-time data on air quality, and AI algorithms can analyze the data to predict pollution levels and then actually recommend the intervention, like adjusting the traffic flows or implementing emission control measures. Okay. Uh, Traffic management and optimization can also be done through AI, where AI algorithms can analyze the traffic patterns according to the historical data and real-time information, and then optimize the traffic signal, maybe timings, and manage the congestion accordingly. This can help in reducing the fuel consumption and enhance the efficiency of the transportation. Then, as Sandhya said, energy efficient street lightings can be used. So, which is currently implemented in lot of smart cities coming up. So, the lightings are maybe powered by solar. So, green energy and clean energy is being into focus. So, this can ensure that the lighting is only active when it is actually needed, and hence the total energy uh, can be efficiently managed. Also, the water management can also be done. So, data analytics can optimize the water distribution systems, by analyzing the usage patterns, identifying leaks, and predicting demands. So this can contribute to efficient water resource management in urban areas. So in totality, if we see in both smart buildings and urban planning, the integration of data analytics and AI enables a more dynamic and responsive approach to resource management. So these technologies empower decision makers to make informed choices, optimize systems in real time, and contribute to more sustainable and resilient built environments.
Absolutely. And so many points I've mentioned about resource management, and that's what water is a scarce resource, and it
Yes.
should be, yeah, right, utilized and used in such a way so that there is no misuse, and we do it properly. And yeah, Sandhya also here, she's also having some expertise at net zero projects. So Sandhya, would you like
Yeah.
to add something about this question?
Uh, it is very important. I just said, it, the most important thing is retrofitting is a very important thing. We all are looking at designing net zero buildings, but that is from design. What about the existing building stock? How do we, because a building life cycle is about 50 years, so buildings which have been about 10 years back who are built, how do we take them up to the new level of the buildings? So the most important is data collection is what I was doing, and AI helps us to integrate that aspect of tabularizing it, come up with observation and inferences, and that gives us help, as what Nitin said, is making an informed decision, which is a very important thing. Otherwise, most of the energies go into this task of collecting a data, or process formation, which is a very exhaustive way. So the existing building stock and their data is very important. That is a very this an analysis of that data is only what we are helping you in AI. Of course, it comes with its own drawbacks, which we can discuss of in our conversation ahead. But then that's in an informed decision where which will help us to see the positive side of it. And overall, it I think makes a very very good impact. Because we are technology has been moving in the entire country towards the world, and we all been at the center of attraction for the globally.
Absolutely, absolutely, Sandhya.
Yeah.
So this discussion is getting more and more interesting. But nonetheless, as all good things come to an end, we have come to the last question of this conversation. Sandhya, in the pursuit of sustainability, how can smart technology balance the need for innovation with concerns about data privacy and security?
So about data security and privacy, trust is the most important thing because it's a data. It's a simple thing there. I remember my long back when my father was absolutely refusing to move on to internet banking. So he would walk up to the bank and he would say, I will go and update my passbook. And he would say, no, I don't know what is this technology. So that's how this. So that's a trust factor, which as I mentioned, which needs to be there. So there are three aspects which you look at in terms of the security and privacy. Is you say looked at encryption, how you can make the data anonymous, how much of it, and transparent privacy policies. These are the three aspects which is actually about the data. Now, how do you do and how do you move ahead? So the most important thing is user education. People who are in the field, like us who are working in it, we are aware of it. But people who are at the user end, they need to be guided. They need to be understood that how this technology is going to benefit them, because at the end of it, they're using it. We may be promoters, designers, executors, or developers for this, but the users need to be guided in terms of how they would move ahead with this. So that is very important. And then the last thing is security audits, which I feel is a very important aspect. just the way you have buildings going through audits, different kind of audits. So data which is now with so much of smart technology and smart buildings or any kind of it, you have to have security audits. So that's how we can you can actually have at a social level, I would say, a collaboration between tech companies, policy makers, groups like INBAC, which will collaborate and come up with smart solutions in terms of awareness, promoting solutions, privacy guidelines, which will educate the entire systems or the user mass which is there. So that is a very important thing. Lastly, when you talk about data analysis, I think it should start at the design. So when you start at the design principles, you should understand what is the data which we are collecting when a building is operating. So since I'm from the building industry, I'm talking with respect to the building in this thing. So what data needs to be collected? So you need to make sure that only that data which is relevant for the analysis need to be collected. Have transparent conversations with the user to know that we are collecting this data from them. It shouldn't be that they are not aware that this kind of a data is being used about them, and they are aware that this data is being collected and that data is being used for what purpose. So they let them be a part of the larger picture also. That so all these aspects, I think, will build up a trust and will educate the entire generation of smart technologies which have been encompassing the building designs and building operations.
Absolutely. And Nitin, do you want to say something?
Yes, I agree with Sandhya, because data analytics is very important, and going into the smart building industry, so this data will play a very crucial role. And in that case, the users should be aware and clearly communicated about the data being collected, how it would be used, and what would be the security measures in place to protect that data. So that transparency will actually help in collecting data and maintaining the privacy, and the user would also not get offended.
Absolutely. And
I think the awareness is a major barrier in smart technologies. You have something smart like a smart watch comes in a fancy TV comes in. You don't know how to use it. You find using it might just be a little. So that conversation is there. It could be the simplest thing to use it. So awareness of how it is going to benefit you is a very important. I think it is a barrier which can be overcome
absolutely.
through simple awareness sessions.
Yeah, awareness and transparency.
Yeah.
And
I
how
remember
simple
for
your
a
life will be. So that is
yeah, I remember for a project, it was an airport project, and we executed the entire airport and the HVAC system, all of it, and there were sensors and all. When it was handed over to the operation team, so you have a project team who finishes the work and moves out, and the operation teams come in. And when the operation happened, and only a part of the airport was running, and after about a year or something, they called us up and they said, "Hey, listen, you said the airport is is sustainable and is energy efficiency and it's showing 30% of savings and all. We have got the bills which are just too humongous and we're not able to figure it out. What is happening? What is the reason for it?" So we were also worried, like, how can it be such a aspect to it? So we actually went to analyze, and you won't believe the simple thing is that the operation teams were not aware of the smart technologies which were integrated in the entire system, like the sensors. What were they need to be, how they need to be switched on, or what is their use of it, how would the HVAC airflow be regulated. So all these things, so there were places which were running full HVAC even if there was no occupancy, and that's how it added into the bills. So I was just realizing that between in a construction industry, between a operation team and a construction team, there is an awareness gap. And so then if you look at a larger picture on at a society level, then there will be so many other gaps, and I think that's how you need to talk about these systems.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in a country like us, like we have huge population, we have many buildings and many spaces which are, like running like that, as Sandhya is speaking about, and we don't even know that where we are, why we are getting those huge bills of electricity. So wonderful and wonderful discussion. So real-time examples made the discussion more interesting. Thanks to both of you for your valuable insights. And if I had to conclude this discussion, I would really say that we have to bring in that awareness in our users, in our customers, and also in between the construction units and also the ones who implement them, so that there's the bridge between the users and the people who are implementing the technology. That is that gap is reduced. And on that note, I would like you both also to, share one line about a conclusion, if I would say so. So, what do you want to say to your
I
audience
would say
about?
smart technologies is the future of building industry, and it should be adopted uh, in a big way, which will lead to a very sustainable built environment.
Wonderful. Nitin?
Yeah, actually, smart technology is a thing of future, and with the technology advancing, we can see more and more smart technology getting incorporated into the building environments, and it will actually help in better resource management, I would say. Not only the energy, but waste as well as water, everything would be managed efficiently, incorporating the smart technology into the built environment.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for your valuable insights, panelists. So, this discussion was so enriching, I'm sure, for our audience as well. And incredible knowledge sharing and real-time examples made this ProConnect conversation worth remembering. So thank you once again, and bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank
it was a
you.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.